Product provided by Nintendo. Monolith continues to blow me away. Chapter 13, the new story in Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, far exceeded any of my wildest expectations. I love it so much. Prepare for a glaze session of epic, and I mean epic proportions. Hello, hello, hello everyone, I am Jmulls, and let's talk about what may become my favorite Xenoblade game, and one of my favorite sections of any game I've ever played. Dude, this was so good, I legitimately almost threw up on stream because I was so excited and hyped about what was going on, and it just never let go.
Is this what's flowing from the abyss? They've watched over me on my journey.
Oh, that's the
People of my home.
I love this game!
Don't you worry.
No one's talking to you, Gwen, shut up.
Thanks to you, my life had some worth after.
Wow!
If that's all you came to say, you can keep walking.
As cowards poppin'! Fuck yes! Yes, dude! Almost threw up there. Hold on. I've never been so excited over a game scene where I almost threw up. Hold on. This is actually peak. That word gets overused so much. This is actually peak. 1000% cinema. Fuck the Minecraft movie. No one cares. This is way better. Yeah, let's just say the 4 slices of pizza and the steak and cheese sub I had earlier with like 2 cups of coffee and 2 brownies. They're like on a trampoline in my stomach right now. Hey chat, Al, how's it poppin'?
Terrible. How about you?
Reply that you're better than him at least. Meaning terrific. Bring it home. Bros to the end. Chapter 13, from beginning to the middle, and especially the end, just fires on all cylinders and blew me away. Buddy, we have a Xenoblade game where a Vandom character actually lived. Ignore Vanguard. But like, yeah, my goat Vandom from Xenoblade X was the one to live. It's just all coming up me. It's all coming up Millhouse. It just is. And I mean, on so many levels, this just works. For those who don't know, I love Chapter 13, and pretty much every element of it. It's just so good. I love the pacing, I love the execution, I love the plot reveals, I love Void as an antagonist, I love Al as a character. He went on to become one of my favorite characters in all of Xenoblade, despite the fact we only had him for 1 freaking chapter. And that 1 chapter has about as much plot development as all of Xenoblade X up to that point. It's crazy how much they managed to pack in here. Like, it borderline feels as if I just played Xenoblade X2. That's what it feels like to me. And it's hard to properly explain how hyped I was to return to Mira. Xenoblade X was the first Xenoblade game I've ever played. Back in the day, like on the Wii U. And I fell in love with it all those years ago, and to not only get the resolution of every plot thread that Xenoblade X had hanging, or at least like 99% of them at least, from all those years ago, for them to pick the torch back up and to carry it and to execute on these ideas with these characters and build up the world and to tie it in to Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3 so brilliantly, it just blows me away how incredible Monolith are at this. And in my opinion, Xenoblade X Definitive Edition was the showcase of the true genius of not just Takahashi, but also all of Monolith just being laid bare. This was a 10-year plus cook. At least it feels like that. It feels like either they had all of this planned from the beginning, or they're just experts at improving it. And just saying, alright, this is what we're gonna do with all these plot threads we let hanging all those years ago. And it just works. I love it so much. And look, sometimes you just need to rule of cool it. And the entire ending section of like Al and Lau as we pilot the Ares Prime against Void with that song playing, with those visuals, and then afterwards Al watches on as we have to pull a hymn from the beginning of the game to defend the White Whale too, so we get enough time to get out of there against the ghost. And he's like, dude, I didn't even teach him that. Where's he learning all this? And then they bull tease us by giving us Void exposition with Al narrating over it, and then leave it hanging, did you die or did you live? And then the reveal of us living, making it back on board. My chat helped me out so much here because they're like, hey, Jmulls, you should really wear Al's outfit. And I wore the red version of it. And I had sunglasses on. And my hairstyle was Malice's but red. This was my Metsublade. This was just absolute perfection. They had you feeling like the biggest badass in the entire series there at the end. It was so good, dude. And then you discover the world at the end, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Oh my god, I love how Monolith handles sci-fi so much. And look, I know we're gonna have a while until the next Xenoblade game. I get that. We have a lot to talk about, though. Like, we might need those 2 years just to properly break down everything. Because, like, oh my god, it's so good, and it's so incredible, and there's so many different, like, ways to think about what's going to happen. I have theories of my own. Oh my god, it's so good. I can't get over just how... Look, I get these words can be overused in the modern day, but, like, it's cinema. It's peak. It just is. I love the little bro dynamic we had going between Al and Cross. Cross being the MC that you play as in Xenoblade X. I love the entire execution of that final fight. I just wish the boss had more memorable mechanics, but that's a more like overarching critique of Xenoblade for me. But like, Christ, dude. The imagery, the visuals, the Ares Prime, us being able to pilot it, having the Ghost of Lao alongside Al, like in our corner as if it's a boxing match, while we pilot the Ares Prime, the rest of your parties and the skills you assign to them. So I had Elma in the Molematic, Lyn in the Tatsu Pink, and then I had Neil Nail in the Miku, just fighting Void, who looks awesome, by the way. Like, his design is just freaking mwah. Also very similar to Zed. Yes, we'll get to that in a future video. It's just I need to glaze this game right now. I just need to get, like, these raw emotions out of me and into the void, get it, of the internet here. Because I'm not joking and I'm not exaggerating when I say that Chapter 13 feels like a bunch of people went into a boardroom and said, how do we please Jmulls specifically? Because, like, everything lands for me, everything hits, I love every reveal, I love the pacing, I love the choreography of the skull fights in the cutscenes, I love the characterization, even Vandam's new voice is starting to grow on me. The final Zone Volataris looks really cool. I do kind of wish it was a fully fleshed out zone, but, like, them's the breaks, I guess, it's fine. It was still fine for what it was, with a decent-ish amount of stuff to do there. The dynamic, dude, between Cross and Al is just so good, and, like, wearing a color variant of Al's outfit as well. The bro energy is off the charts. It's in the stratosphere of every planet. We still have an entire faction of enemies that could potentially come back in the series later on with the ghosts. The throughput storytelling here is immaculate, dude. We dealt with the Ganglion twice. We dealt with Void, but the ghost is still this big, giant issue that we may have to contend with later on. There's a massive, massive rabbit hole, by the way, you can deep dive into, because Elma, early in chapter 13, quotes a Bible verse from Revelations chapter 9, and if you read, like, that entire chapter, there's a lot of similarities and a lot of things you can, like, point back to in Xenoblade. Dude, Takahashi and Monolith were on their A-game, in my opinion. It's just quality from start to finish, and I love it so much. And, like, we broke down that Bible chapter on stream as well, and the similarities and just things you can, like, line up, it's insane. It's crazy. But, like, the way they had everything just tie together, the Manon ship becoming, like, the savior of everything and us being able to retrofit it into the White Whale too. It's like, what a great way to use that just Chekhov's gun in such an interesting way. Where you, like, introduce this giant ship that just stands atop, not stands, but, like, floats, I guess, atop New LA for most of the game, and it's just really cool, and you, like, go in there for a bit, but for it to become so pivotal and important later on, and we take all the cool stuff, really, from Mira with us into the next world, because we had that quest where we took, like, data from the flora and fauna, I think fauna as well, pretty much the life of Mira alongside us so we can bring it to our new world. We took the Manon as well, by the way, brief tangent, I love the Manon so much, they need to become mainstays of the series going forward, just like the Nopon. I love the Manon, I'm a Manon simp, I'm a Manon fanatic, I love them so much. The holo figures with Manon in them never cease to make me laugh. I love those characters so much, they need to be around, and I'm glad they brought him alongside the rest of the crew with the White Will too, because we're using the man on ship. It's just so freaking good. The whole Ares Prime was such an interesting element of the plot. It looks freaking awesome. It's cool. And it ties into the conduit immaculately to just tie everything together. It's just a really cool and mysterious sci-fi element, but it's also a giant robot, so you know it kicks ass. It's just, dude, I love it so much. Then that entire final sequence of us trying to leave Volataris as the DMAT events like expand, like they're the rubber ball things from The Incredibles when he had to run across that bridge area. Us doing our final stand, pulling in Al to defend the White Will 2 so it can charge up its energy to jump to another universe. Al glazing us so hard in the background as well. Elma and Lynn watching on with bated breath, hoping we can make it out. And then the reveal of all the Void stuff, the background lore, the beautiful artwork, the beautiful imagery, and the reveal of the new planet is just so gorgeous, dude. It's so gorgeous. And then we show up like a bolt from the blue. I come in, jacket on, polished chain, sunglasses on, indoors in the middle of space. Mallow's hair, red as a tomato. It's just perfect. There's not a single thing I would have changed outside of when the MC showed up at the very end to reveal that he was alive. I would have had him hit a moonwalk coming in with Return of the Mac blaring in the background. Like, that's the only thing I would change. I'm blown away. This legitimately might be one of my favorite endings in any game I've ever played. It's right up there alongside 2 for me. I love it that much. And what I think I love so much about X Definitive Edition is how it works for new players and for old players. For old players, like us, if you grew up with this game, you grew up with Mira. Maybe you didn't finish the game till way later like I did, but you fell in love with this world, you fell in love with these characters to some degree. And there were so many questions, so much intrigue and mystery surrounding this game and surrounding this world, and you wanted more of it, and the game provides that, and to me at least, gives an excellent send-off for Mira. And if you're a new player, it all just flows together. I think it's brilliantly executed myself. And like, yeah, it's sad to see Mira go, but that's also part of the theme going on here, and the larger theme going on with Xenoblade that I'll cover again in the future. Where like, consistently, the theme has been we have to give up the world we're in now for a future and a better tomorrow, at least an uncertain future that we decide to walk into. So we give up the world of the game that we're playing to move into the new world. We do that in Xenoblade 1, we do that in Xenoblade 2, we do that in Xenoblade 3, and now we're doing it in X as well. Heck, we started X with that idea as well, but then we do it again at the end. But we're able to take parts of Mira and what we've learned and the connections we've formed alongside us. So we're not the humanity that walked or flew or crash landed into Mira. We're different, we're better. It's just absolutely beautiful. So would I say that I like Xenoblade X? Absolutely, that was no secret. Would I say that I like Chapter 13? I love Chapter 13. I adore Chapter 13. Would I say that I like the ending? Because funnily enough, it's been a while since on first view, I enjoyed a Xenoblade ending. It's been a while. It's been since Torna. I had to come around to liking 3's ending and Future Redeem's ending. Besides the Future Redeem post-credit scene, I loved that to begin with. But like here, I just thoroughly loved it. And I cannot wait until we see what comes next from Monolith. Almost certainly Xenoblade 4, or they called Xenoblade Saga, whatever they end up calling it, the next entry in this series. I can't wait. Now, I don't want to do too much theory crafting in this video because, like I said, this is just a way for me to get all these, like, raw emotions out. But there is one really interesting element that I want to talk about. That is the ring on the planet at the end of Xenoblade X. Because, at the ending of Future Redeemed, when we saw what a lot of people, myself included, initially thought after playing X Definitive Edition, oh, that's the White Will 2 approaching the new planet now. It's not Cosmos. Still could be. I think it's the White Will too. Some people pointed out, rightfully so by the way, because it's a great pickup, the planet at the end of Future Redeemed, the new planet that is formed, does not have rings around it. But the planet was shown at the end of X Definitive Edition has rings around it. Now, personally, I lean towards the idea that this is the same planet, because it makes the most sense to me. However, the ring argument is a great one. I think there's a few possible explanations for it, and I'm not particularly sold or locked in on any of them. It could be a mix of them as well, or just something else. One, it was an artistic choice for Future Redeemed because they wanted to show the visual of two planets separating and then coming together again to form one planet, and maybe they thought it would look a little bit goofy if they had a ring around it at the end there. Could also be that when the planet first formed, it didn't have a ring, and then by the time the White Whale 2 comes into the picture, it has formed a ring for whatever reason, and then when we see the White Whale 2 approach the planet at the very end of Future Redeemed, based on the angle and how zoomed in the camera is, that could explain why we didn't see the rings there. It's just off camera or out of shot. And I think there's possibly another artistic element going on. It's just they wanted to slowly reveal the entire grandeur and majesty and the true form of the planet. So, with the end of Xenoblade 3, they show Noah recognizing the Off-Seeing song. So we know the worlds had separated, but something else was going on there. Then in Future Redeemed, they show the worlds coming together again to create a new world with something approaching it. And then with X Definitive Edition, we get that other perspective of that thing approaching it. And they show us a more final view of the planet and how it looks at that point in time. Theoretically, it could just be a separate planet. I don't think I necessarily buy it, because when you look at the actual planet itself, it looks very dang similar. It's just the ring is the only difference, really. But also, narratively, it doesn't make a lot of sense unless we're gonna go to multiple planets in Xenoblade 4, because I still think their intention is to combine the stuff from Xenoblade 1, 2, 3 with X. Look, I have plenty of theories to give about in regards to Xenoblade 4. Now, I haven't played Xenosaga, but I hear the world from the end of Xenosaga 3 had rings as well. It could just be they hadn't, like, locked in fully that they wanted to have rings or not by the end of Future Redeemed. But, like, since they're like, hey, let's just make this even more Xenosaga, right? So, like, let's add a ring to it. That could be the thing, because rings can form around a planet throughout its lifespan from any number of reasons. But, like, either way, I'm just so excited to see what Monolith have coming down the pipeline. I cannot wait to see what Xenoblade 4 looks like. And I'm just happy. I'm happy that one of my favorite games of all time was not only remembered, it was done this much justice, and had this much love and tenderness and care and attention to detail put into it. So Chad, I want you to comment down below with your response to what I'm about to say. How's it poppin'? Thank you all for tuning in. My pleasure making the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. Believe you me, I have so much to talk about when it comes to this. I'll give a more, like, thorough final impressions of Chapter 13. At some point, I will do that. I just wanted to glaze about one of my favorite games. Thank you, Monolith. And thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe. Have a great day. Go play some video games. Go play some Xenoblade. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Until we pop again.